Hello, I'm Rick87 here, and welcome back to Combat Mission Battle for Normandy. We are rejoining elements of B Company of the Argyll and Southern Highlanders as they attempt to secure the village of Mondrainville. In the first episode, in our initial probing into the edge of the village, we encountered some German infantry along kind of the hedge lines here. We've successfully pushed these guys back, as you can kind of see by the trail of grey icons scrolling away across the map. We've dislodged one of the two teams here, but there still remains a German infantry section here. Meanwhile, we did also spot a Panzer IV coming down this road. Fortunately though, we managed to pull back our armoured cars, which were kind of parked in around here, without the Panzer getting a shot off. Or at least without him connecting with a shot, I should say. So that was kind of pretty fortunate, so we'll have to keep an eye as to where the Panzer pops up again. We don't have a lot of capability for dealing with it. We do have one anti-tank gun, which appeared all the way over the edge of the map here, and we've kind of just brought forward, and we're going to set up in a position overlooking this open ground. A little bit isolated, but not a lot we can do about that at the minute. We are due to get another one, so we'll have to see where they appear and where we can bring them into use. So the plan of attack going forward is we're going to leave 12th Platoon here as a fire base, hopefully to drive off the last of the Germans down here and just to protect this middle section. Meanwhile, 10th Platoon, assisted by the armoured cars and this one brain carrier we got, are going to make a push on this building complex here. We're just going to keep 11th Platoon back in our rear as reserves. So without further ado, let's jump into the first minute as we start to shuffle forward some of our infantry sections as lead elements to head towards buildings. We did drop a howitzer barrage on these buildings at the very start of or about 5 minutes into the start of the game, but we haven't seen any particular signs of resistance. So I'm not really expecting there to be many Germans in here, but you never know. Another reason we want to definitely clear off these guys is so we can push our scout forward a little bit, so we can find out what's happened to that Panzer. There he is. Hello Panzer, who's got his eyes on you? Our HQ unit. So he does look like he's pulling up, potentially take a defensive position around these buildings somewhere. We'll have to see how that goes. Maybe obviously he could drive down into the centre or park himself in here. There's lots of places he can go. I'm entirely postulating right now. Meanwhile, our AT gun is getting wheeled along the road there in the last little bit. Okay, let's keep pushing forward. We are going to have to be careful that wherever he ends up, we don't expose our armoured cars into any kind of line of sight. It does look like the Germans are trying to call artillery on me, although pretty unsuccessfully. But we will have to maybe watch our elements if they're trying to walk it into our deployment area. It does sound like pretty heavy caliber shells there. Okay, because we're keeping those guys suppressed. We have moved forward with this section element here. Again, no more contact in this farmhouse. Well, let's jump into the command phase. So we've got, in terms of entryways, there is a gap in the hedge here we can get in. So I'm tempted to I should probably just leave this section here for now and bring third section over. Get them to move. I feel about them coming through the open. Probably okay actually, and then we'll get them to come in. Just get them to come in here for now. And then I'm tempted to almost push two sections into the bottom story of these houses at the same time, just in case there's some elements hiding around here. I might even break down the teams a little bit so we're covering more buildings, there's more targets for the Germans to engage should they be there. And let's just shuffle our Bren carrier forward slightly so we can keep eyes on. Excellent. I don't think we need to do too many more orders. So kind of a cautious advance at the minute. One thing I will do is let's just bring our other armoured car up. Now let me see, I want to keep eyes about just where the Panzer can get eyes on us. I don't think he's going to have clear shots through all these trees. But certainly if he came to like this field, we could have to watch for an occasional keyhole through to our positions. I think we're okay at the minute. And before I forget, our armoured car, which was bravely hiding from the Panzer down here, can now appear again. Where did he break through? We'll just get him to go through the same hole here. Please just make your way back onto this road. Good. Okay, let's just go ahead for the next minute. Again, quiet is good for us at the minute. Very quiet. I wonder if these guys have been driven off, or if we're just suppressed. No, they're still there. So I've not given any target orders or target area orders. These guys are just shooting on their own tacky eye as and when they make the spot, which is interesting. Sometimes you can see them shooting against an unconfirmed target, which I didn't think the tacky eye did, but just goes to show that it does. Another one off map. That is concerning. I'll have to keep an eye on that. Right, who has eyes on this chap? I believe this is the Panzerschreck Pixel-Truppen. Indeed it is. Facing the wrong way, which I'm more than happy about. It's a Bren team, so they'll probably open up in a moment. Or are you just going to look at them? Yeah, still got plenty of ammo. Okay, you're concentrating on that guy. I'm not going to complain too much about that. Okay, this is good. All quiet. These guys are going to continue to push, and I will bring Bren's coming into there. Our AT gun is just about in position. Don't think they're going to see anything over there, but I'll want to hold them there for now. We've another minute, and then we should get our second AT gun, which hopefully we can bring more into a central position. And I am going to try and move these guys forward, because I think those Germans are adequately suppressed to get these guys to leap through this fenced area. And also with this house here, which is blocking most of the view, although perhaps not enough of it. I think, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to risk it. I don't think it's much risk, but I'm going to bring him all the way down here and then get him to go across. And he's only one guy, he is moving very slowly, so we should be okay, and that'll give us some line of sight down here, although we now know the tank's gone, so less pressing issue, but I think it's good to keep our scouts moving, keep those eyes and ears ahead of the main force. Meanwhile, mortars, you are lagging behind, you need to come forward. Let's move you up. Good. And yeah, let's just jump to the next minute. Continue to progression here. Oh, I'll tell you what I should have done is continue to move my reserve section across the road into a central position. I'll do that at the next command phase. Interestingly, I'm taking the odd shot at them, so this is not without risk, despite all the fire support that we've got. Alright, had to put a quick cut in there, some drama with little people in real life. But yeah, back to it now, so let's continue with the rest of this minute's action. Ooh, another loud explosion. Just gonna check where that one fell. Oh, still can't see it. Must be behind me. Okay. Still pretty far off, which I'm happy as long as you keep coming far off. I wonder if the FO's been taken out at some point. I'd be positive if it had. Okay. A fairly quiet minute. Okay, armoured car, troop 1 heavy. Oh. Oh, this is handy. Okay, excellent. I was expecting, when it said £6, another 80 piece rather than a whole bunch more armoured cars. Oh, hang on. It's exactly what I've got. I'm just reading it wrong and putting it into single. So we've got another additional armoured cars, who I'm certainly not going to say no to. And we've got another AT piece over here. Yeah, okay. So it's exactly what I was expecting. Good. So the question remains, how are we going to use him? And I'm tempted to say not very much until we've secured this building, and then we've got a bit more of a free rein to bring them in. Probably in here actually. Yeah, we could bring the Kyra in here and potentially get them to kind of wheel it forward. Although lines of sight aren't great. But it definitely is, because these things are so unwieldy to get into position. You know, we're almost going to want it in place before we find out where the Panzer is. Anyway, not going to do too much with it now. In fact, I'm probably just going to leave it at exactly where it's parked on the edge of the map. These armoured cars, I'm probably just going to shuffle them forward a little bit. Just so they are off this back area, because we are obviously seeing some of these artillery rounds come in. And also what I'm also going to do is jump in and give some more movement orders to continue move this reserve platoon across to this patch. So I'll put a cut in and I'll do all of that. Okay, all the orders given, so let's press ahead with the next minute. Again, not expecting too much to happen here, to be honest. Hopefully we'll get any surprises as we continue to push in against these buildings. Might see some fire over here if the Germans pop their heads up again. I'm kind of continuing to push this, I think it's my Pioneer HQ unit, which I'm now utilising as scouts. Just get them pushed forward, one hedge block at a time. Well, he is continuing to have a few pop shots every now and again. Might get my armoured car just to stick a HE round at him. Right, I am gonna. Oh, and looks like I've moved too slowly. Oh, 2 casualties, and including the brain gunner. Always the brain gunner. Do you know what? I'd love to see the percentage of first casualties I've taken a platoon that are the brain gunner. Unbelievable. Okay. Oh, I'm frustrated. I was pulling them out, I just wasn't doing quickly enough. Well, yeah, those guys continue to be pesky. Oh, armoured cars are now getting involved. Did we take him out? Oh, I'm guessing not. Okay. Well, first casualty's taken. Can't complain too much about that, but it's frustrating. Okay, let's go command phase. Yeah, let's get these guys to peg it across the road. And what I'll do is I'll just leave them essentially where they are. And then when things calm down a little bit, I'll get them to go back over and pick up that brain gun. You guys can come into here. Just Just have it at the back. I don't really need to. I mean, the threat of fire coming down the road doesn't exist anymore, but I suppose it's still useful to do a fast command, considering looks like there is more artillery incoming. Good, everyone else is pushing in clear. Still got these two guys causing a bit of problems. Surprised you don't have better sight. Well, it's just the wrong incline. What we'll do actually, we'll get him to push in here, provide a little bit of support with his 40mm. Oh, there's a difference between those. Okay, because these ones I noticed were 37. So this is the Staghound rather than the Dalmor. Okay. Oh yeah, again does look quite a different model when you get to have a close look at it. So we've got looks like they've got a front and a coaxially mounted machine gun. I think this guy just had coaxial mounted. Yeah. Okay. So slightly smaller gun, but a bit more in the machine gun positions. And while these guys are all moving in, no sight or sound. I think I'm going to end up pushing into these buildings with no contest, which I'm perfectly happy with. I'm going to move you guys. I want you to move into there and then come up into that one. And indeed, you troops are just going to come into here. And I think I'm just going to push you in as two whole sections, to be honest. I don't feel the need to really split it out. And I'll get this Bren section to come up and support. Move him forward. I don't want to expose him too much. Again, conscious of super long range fire from an angry tank sitting somewhere. I don't think there's vision into there though, so I'm probably being overly paranoid. But let's push ahead in another minute. Hopefully we can get the rest of the guys out with any further casualties. I'm really worried I'm going to get one of these bogged down and stuck at some point. It's a bit of a risk going into the farm, into field, sorry. But hopefully, oh, those guys are having a crack. Let's just see. Hopefully, she get the spot here, but apparently that's not going to happen. Let's just go. I want to see exact. So it looks like they're just annihilating this little orchard. Okay, so that's fine. We've cleared that out. I must admit, the Pixel Drippin is putting up quite the resistance. He's faced a lot of fire. Presumably a few HE rounds is going to be enough to convince him to leave his position though. But I want to advance this platoon eventually kind of forward to the next couple of hedgerows. I certainly can't do that while he's threatening to put some MG fire in them. Yeah, that's good. And we get some more battalion mortars. So let's look at our FO who's kicking around somewhere. Here you go. What have we still got on hand? So we've still got 65 rounds from our howitzers. And 50 from our 3-inch mortars. That's good. We'll have to think about how we want to use that. Maybe if we can, well, I'll find out where this tank is. We could try and bring some heavy artillery down on top of it. If we can't get our 6-pounders to get in position. Right, all I think I'm going to do is get our scout team to keep advancing. And these guys are just moving into position. So it's going okay. It's been a bit of a slow transition into here, which is, it's always one of those ways when you kind of push forward like this and you meet no resistance, you always feel like, oh, I should have just been running forward. But at the same time, had I charged everyone forward and stumbled across an MG nest, I would be kicking myself for not being more cautious. So you just can't win. These guys are surprisingly unkillable at the minute. Either that or they've got some kind of advanced armoured hedge technology that we don't know about. But that does have a Panzerschreck, so I don't get too close in case he suddenly changes his mind and decides to become, you know, going for the Iron Cross or something. Okay, that's time up again. Let's just go into command phase. Everything is going, yeah, it's progressing pretty well so far. These guys are in position. This is my little scout team. Again, from my engineers who have been drafted in as new scouts. Let's you keep going up there. I think time has come to poke our heads in here. We'll see what we can see. My guess, to be honest, is going to be absolutely nothing. But that's okay. And then what we'll do is we can move across into a couple of these buildings. And ultimately grab someone, potentially these guys actually, to go up a story and act as kind of scouts. I do want my HQ team to keep up with my sections. We'll give him, he can just walk, it's fine. These two keep advancing, keep the guys right. Bring you forward to there. That's probably far enough. Okay. I think we'll call that good enough and we'll go on. So again, it's just kind of little tweaks at the minute before we kind of push forward. I should probably maybe being a little bit more aggressive with my scouts so I can understand where the next batch of defences is holed up. So I need to spot those guys over there. German artillery continues to pound our rear. As long as it's that one side, that's okay. See, these guys have gone quiet, which makes it a little bit nervous. Here's him popping up again. Did we get him? I don't think so. I think everything... Oh, we did. We did. You can see the cross from here. Looks like it's fragments off that explosion on the hedge. Finally to come out. Good. So that's the Panzerschreck down, which was the biggest concern really for pushing forward these armoured cars. I can now be a little bit more aggressive with, say, this chap. Just to make sure that this machine gunner is out of action, and then we can push forward and start taking up positions along this hedgerow. Good. Go into command phase. Really? That's very frustrating sometimes. But these guys have decided the quickest way into this building is by walking around and in the front door. Okay. Right, let's look at these other building complexes then. So these guys are I'm going to want to push across. I probably want to do it at the same time as, say, a Bren section as well. So I'm going to get you guys to come in. Just come in this back here. And we'll get you two to move into, say, these two buildings. And I would quite like you guys to maybe try and take up residency in the bottom floor story of this one. How do we feel about this door? Not the best, not the worst. It's a little exposed. How are they connected on the inside? Nope. So maybe I'll hold off with them until we've got these guys in position, and depending on what they see, decide if we want to try and push into there or not. Okay, I will keep them going forward as scouts. And these guys are in their position, so I'll get them to move up as well. Since they have got some binoculars, let's see if there's any movement on that far side of the map. Good! Don't think there's anything else we need to do at the moment. Oh no, that's not true. One last thing I want to do, excuse me there, pan around the map, is I want you to scoot forward a little bit. like so. And we can make sure this guy is out of action. Meanwhile, my scout's going to have to somehow make your way over there. And then he's going to have to try and push down. That's a precarious gap for him to try and get across at some point. But we'll see. But some more eyes of what's going back here would be greatly appreciated. And I think I might try, once we've pushed forward a little bit, get this kind of scouting element to come in more like here. But we'll see. But I think that's going to do it for this minute. So let's push on. Just hope he doesn't get bogged. Nope. Dude hasn't. Apparently he's still having a go. Surprised he hasn't got sight of him though. Need to watch out for. Oh, we're not quite close enough for Panzerfausts or grenades, but. So before we lose sight of him, let's have a look, see exactly where he is. In case we want to throw a 40mm HE round at him. It's just one dude with the rifle. There's probably a lot more of them in there to begin with. I reckon you've got line of sight, okay? Yeah. Alright, well if you don't do it yourself this turn, we'll get you to do it with a fire order next turn. Still hasn't noticed them. And I suppose it's, to be fair, sometimes hard to spot just a single man hiding behind a hedge. But I think what we can do is we'll get him put fire directly onto that spot, and then we can, with confidence, push across with this platoon. And I'm going to get them started on that next minute because I'd like to make a little bit more forward progress. Let's go in the command phase. So what I'm going to do is I'll go and I'll put the kind of, I'll probably move 2 sections forward, leave 1 section in the brain gun here. And issue a fire to him, and I'll do all that, and then I'll come back. Alright, orders issued, and we're ready to advance into the next minute. Should get some fire out from our armoured car here. Should cover our advancing troops across this field. I'll be very upset if he still gets a chance to take some machine gun fire though. Oh, there's some coming in though. We have to, we could end up with a couple of casualties here if they've got sight from all the way over here. Pretty long range, but at the same point we are pushing forward like 20 guys, so you don't have to be that accurate for it to get the occasional casualty. Seems to have stopped though. All was all focused on this area. He's still on the go. And he's still taking pot shots at guys. Come on, armoured car. He just doesn't care about those HE shells. That's quite surprising. Okay, didn't get very far in the first minute. Yeah, kudos to this this German guy. Oh, he is. He's gone suppressed. I'm trying to work out what equipment I can see there. Oh, it's just a. I don't know, almost like a spade he's got on him. Okay. In other news, we also pushed across to these buildings here. No firm contacts, but that's okay. I'll leave them there for now. And I think I'm comfortable enough. I'm going to push these guys into that building as well. And then I'm probably going to bring up our reserve platoon into this area. Yeah, that's probably the best way of doing it. With leaving that 1 section behind because they need to recover that brain gun. Anyway, lots of planning ahead going on there. So you guys are going okay. You are still having to go with that guy. Interesting that you're not using your machine gun though as well. I would expect you to use them both. Go forward a little bit just in case there's some strange visual thing. I'm not too worried about that guy. I don't think he's got any particular loadout I need to be concerned about. Meanwhile, these guys, okay, so they're breaking out into a jog after having a little bit of a scare from some machine gun fire, which is fine. In fact, I should probably get these guys to go for a jog as well. Which I will, yeah, I'll sort that in the in-betweens before we start the next minute. And I think everything else will probably leave. We'll have to decide what we want to do with his brain carrier. It's not being particularly useful there. And given the number of armoured cars we've got, I'm not sure how aggressive I want to use them. They might be useful to kick around or just to transport the scouts around quickly. But anyway, I'll go and I will fix their movement orders, and I'm going to issue some for this reserve platoon to start advancing over here. Okay, all orders in and ready to proceed as discussed. One thing I did notice, just thought I'd bring to your attention, is that our scout, which we've been pushing merrily forward, just a lone rifleman surviving from the scout section in a previous battle, is also getting in on the action, trying to get this guy's head down, so he may get the job done for our 40mm HE has failed, but we shall see. So maybe we'll just start round at this view. We should be able to see if we get any flashy icons from our brave trooping. If we do cop an unfortunate MG salvo, but we shall see from here. So let's go ahead with the next minute. And let's see what happens to this plucky German resistance. Well, that was a terrible shot. Seems the German barrage coming in full force. Oh, we spot another German. Indeed one. This guy's taking a lot of shots and missing them all at an unmoving target not very far away. You spend an entire minute whiffing. I'm probably going to get him to call off his attack after this. Although these guys are probably far enough forward, they might get involved in the action. Finally, he's given up. Hear a ping of machine gun fire. Let's see where that's coming from. Okay, he survives another minute. Now we didn't take any casualties, which is always good. Just gonna jump back and see if we can see where some of this machine's coming from. If it's the same spray we've seen over this general direction. Again, we're not getting any other spots from the guys who've pushed forward into these buildings. And like I said, the next target is going to be over here. Nope, didn't see anything there. Okay. Alright, let's jump into the command phase. What I'm going to do is I'll get this guy to mix up what he's doing. Because I think we've used... Oh, look at it. I've actually used a lot of HE shells. I wasn't expecting to burn through quite so quickly. Please use your machine gun on him. That is unfortunate amount of ammo you've used there. I'm also tempted to get these guys. I think I said I was going to get these guys to go for a run, and then completely forgot all about it. So I'll do it this time. Seems we seem to be under no pressure here, and I would like to get these guys a little further forward. Everybody's happy over here. So I think the thing to do is going to be break off some scouts. And just not advance them particularly far forward, but just send them upstairs to see if they can spot anything for us. Again, give them a target arc so they hopefully don't draw any attention to themselves. You guys won't be able to do it because you're moving, but that's fine. Actually, one scout in these buildings should be enough. You're pushing across, you can't see anything. I'm tempted actually to get this brain carrier, and it is a little bit bold. Essentially to bring him round to somewhere like here to see if we can't get some better eyes on this complex, as that's our next target. Last we saw the tiger, not the tiger, that would be even worrier, the Panzer. It was kind of coming up here, and I'm kind of expecting it to be maybe sitting at this juncture, maybe pushing a little bit, so we do have to be wary of that. But I do think we're relatively safe coming up kind of thus far. We might just drop our scout off at that point. Let me put those orders in now. Just come up here, push through, and then come along. Maybe just somewhere like there and see what's going on. Again, a little bit risky. It's an unknown hedgerow. I am being somewhat aggressive there with the scouting. But I think it'll be okay. Anything else we want to do? No, we'll let him go upstairs. I mean, I think if we're still getting quiet, we're gonna have to look to maybe push forward. And I think the angle is really going to be coming in kind of one angle straight through here, another one going round. Although we've got to worry about what all fire we draw from this housing complex. Tell you what I probably want to do is get my FO somewhere up here so you can call down some more howitzers, probably in this area, because that looks to be like a bit of a stronghold. So I'll grab them and get them over in this general direction. And you're coming over here anyway. That is grand and good. Just make your way into this compound, please. Yeah, and we'll maybe push in with the 10th platoon here. I'm going to send one section in this side, one section in that side, and we'll have a third section kind of reinforcing as required. I would like some armoured car support for doing this though, so we could send someone around the outside. Again, Heisama Panzer would be particularly useful to know right now. Okay, but I'm getting way ahead of myself. Let's just run this minute. This will be the last one we run for the time being. See if we get some more any interesting spots and see if we can finally take care of this tough little nut of a German pixel tripping. So hard he is, this guy's even given up shooting at him. Getting surprised we haven't seen anything really from over here. I really do want to kind of keep scouting with him. I don't want to leave this guy behind. Oh, he almost thought we had another pop there. Anything else going on? And I think with given that we've not seen any further movement, probably time to relocate that anti-tank gun. Not doing a lot for us. Another very quiet minute. Interesting, really interesting. I am going to have to think about how I'm going to deal with this guy, because weight of fire alone does not seem to be doing the job, and I don't want to leave him as a thorn in my side potentially. We could always get these guys to move up, be a little bit up close and personal. Not ideal, but I think might have to get the job done. Okay, but that is going to draw us to the end of this video. So it's been okay actually. We did take our first 2 casualties from that German barrage, but we've kind of made a little bit of ground, taking up the edge of this first orchard, which is our objective. But it's been surprisingly quiet from the Axis side for this. So we'll have to see if we can't punch forward a little bit further next time and see if we can't get some more contact and yeah, see if we can't bring some more firepower to bear. But I hope you have enjoyed watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.